It's Nazgul time. Let's dive in. So, you know that in the Battle of the Pelennor Fields box, there's a Nazgul on Felbeats that you can turn into the Witch King. And I was assembling this. This I started doing weeks ago. This video has been developed in the span of a long time. You will see why in a little while. And here I was, trying to put together the Witch King on Felbeast, just following the instructions that comes in the Battle of the Pelennor. I love this kit, I have to say. It is super detailed, very dynamic. I don't understand really why the base has a elven shield, but hey, I covered it up later, you will see. So I was just assembling mine and being like, hey, with this one, of course, I have one. I'm gonna make a Witch King, right? And I was enjoying my way through the process of building it. But of course, I don't know if you guys feel the same way with a piece so central for an army like this one is, because all the eyes are going to be towards this one when you put the collection together. I was a bit intimidated into how to paint it, into if it's gonna turn well or not. And basically I've been dragging the painting of this miniature and they using it like I should for a long time, just because I felt intimidated that I didn't want to mess up. But the other day I felt, hey, you know what? I'm gonna put it together. I'm gonna have my fun in there. I'm gonna see if I can convert something and add some details here and there. And then I'll paint it eventually. And the first part I did no problem. There was some issues with the transparent rod that you can see there, where it gets in, so it broke a couple times. So I just had to reposition the Felbeast on it. But regardless of that, like the kit is super nice. It has a lot of options, a lot of customization. It's allowed. I miss this kind of kits from Games Workshop, to be honest, when it comes to our game. And then what I thought is that I didn't want to just leave it, as you can see here, that simple, that plain, right? I was here balancing it out and stuff, but I thought that I wanted to make it a bit more cinematic. Which leads me to this. I took some, leftover miniatures from my Beats box that I picked up in eBay. Some of them were painted, some of them were broken, some of them were good, but I have a lot of them. And as you can see there, I have another 2 bases for this, with only 1 rod. The thing is that I found the person that was selling another Battle of the Pelennor Fields box with 2 Felbeasts instead of 1. So I said, hey, I'm gonna make another 2. I'm gonna paint them all together. So I didn't paint my Witch King yet, and I'm gonna put them into some cinematic bases. The problem is that one of them I only had 1 rod, so one of them I will have to find a way to put him in position. And as you can see here, this is one of the bases that is gonna have the rod in the middle with an orc killing a Rider of Rohan in the middle of it, just to give it some more interest. And then when I picked up the sprue, here's the moment I realized that for my 3rd Felbeast, I did not have a body or legs. So what I went into doing is to take some sprue goo and a body of a horse of Rohan, cover it together, and trying to sculpt one so I could put it in place. You just have to be positive about things. And then I went into the process of putting together the Nazguls. No conversion was needed here. The kits allow you enough customization that you can do it yourself. And here, as you can see, is how I fixed the Felbeast that came already assembled, that I didn't have a rod for, which I pasted into the cinematic base. So he's picking up this Rohan rider, and he's laying his tail on the Morannon orc. So then it actually becomes super stable. You will see it later in detail. The other one that is gonna be in the rod is the one that didn't have a body. So what I did is, as I show you, make that body. I added more sprue goo for this is the other base that is gonna be for the Witch King, I believe, that they're fighting on it. I just added 2 more fighters. And this is the Felbeast that I had to resculpt myself. For the legs, what I did is to take some pieces of sprue, paste them together in the position I thought were necessary, and then cover it in sprue goo, put in the feet of the actual Felbeast on the end, And I think we worked it out pretty well. Here, as you can see, is where I'm trying to put the Nazgul in place. And I put some more of the spikes that I had from all the leftover pieces on the back or in the neck to add some detail, so it will blend in better. And this is the result once primed. This is the one that I sculpted the body and the legs. And of course, it's obvious once you put them all together, but I think that it's not noticeable whatsoever in any other situation. And I think we fixed the situation pretty well. And you see there with the two fighters on the bottom and the casualties and stuff, I think it looks much better, much more cinematic, and it blends in much better. And I never liked the fact of just having the rod there doing nothing. So I thought that giving it a bit more depth, a bit more detail was good. And yeah, you see there like the two guys fighting, an old Rohan warrior and another Morannon orc that I have a ton of, plus some shields and pieces that I could just put scattered there. This is the one I put on the rider and on the Morannon orc, already primed. The tail was broken, so I made it like if somebody cut it when it was the moment to paint it. And then, you know, since we didn't have the rod, this is a pretty stable way, actually, super stable, it doesn't fall. And I put some more weight with sprue goo on the bottom of the base, so it will then tilt to places and it will be a bit heavier, but I'm gonna fix that more eventually. Here is a detail of how, you know, I pasted it in position, so it was just a matter of finding the right angle for it to stay. And there you see on the Morannon arm, the tail is resting on, so it doesn't fall. Like, it's super stable. Once it was glued, you cannot pull it apart anymore, and I'm actually very happy with how we fixed it, because I was convinced that it had no fixture if I didn't find another rod. And with this, it actually works very, very well, and I'm very happy with it. Just so you can see it here in detail. And then the Witch King. I gave him in the end the other base. This rod also broke because I dropped him after varnishing, but whatever. And then I gave him another rider of Rohan with his horse that he just picked up with his legs, kind of like an inspiration with how they do it in the movie. So I wanted to give him that, and also because it helps balancing the model a little more, because it adds a little more weight. And here is some detail of the base, in which we have a normal Mordor orc that is attacking with his spear on the chest of a rider of Rohan that was broken. So I just put him in position, and his horse was also, you see there, is missing the tail and stuff, and it wasn't very good. So I just used him for this as a casualty. And here is how they ended up being once painted. Painting process was surprisingly fun, and at the same time it was a bit tense, because what happened is that it's the kind of miniature that in some stages of the painting it does look very ugly, and then you fix everything through the process of washes and highlights and stuff, especially talking about the bottom part of the body, because you need it to look kind of like a bat, you know. So, but overall, like, the rest is black paint, contrast, put some washes on it. The highlights on the bottom of the body, in the end I ended up doing them with a sponge, an old maker sponge that my wife had. She helped me painting this one, actually, applying the washes and stuff, so very thankful to her. And then the base, it was just a matter of painting the normal warriors. Here is the other one, that you can maybe see a bit more of the contrast on the wings. That was done through a layer of gray, followed by a wash on Agraxerx shade, then a dry brush with the sponge in a lighter color, and then another wash of null oil on top of it. That kind of, you know, marks those veins and details that it has on the wings. And there you see, like, the miniatures on the bottom are just painted like the normal ones I have, so they blend in well with both armies, and I think it looks very well. And then the Nazguls and the metal and everything is painted like normal, but I think it ends up looking very well. The tongue also, with some different shades and stuff, so it will, you know, not just look like red or purple. And here you see a little bit of detail of the base, in which I put some more scattered bits and pieces that I had left over, shields and weapons, because I wanted it to look with this chaotic image that we all have of the Pelennor fields. And here's the Witch King. The Witch King, I actually tried one thing that I've never tried before. I wanted to use some yellow contrast paint, so I painted all the fire in pink first. Then I applied the yellow contrast, and it actually makes it look so much more vibrant that I'm very surprised about it. I never tried it before. I never had to paint such a bright yellow, but it works out very well. Then, of course, the details of the Nazgul are super simple: metal, washing, Nuln Oil, and then a lighter highlight in a lighter color of metal. And then the Nazgul is the Fell Beast itself is painted exactly like the other ones, so it blends in well. And in the base and the claws, of course, the ones that he has, we just painted it like normal. But I really love how these guys ended up turning out too. Here you see a detail of the base and the victim that he has. I think it was important to give it some more dynamic image overall, like to the Fell Beasts, because at the end of the day, they're not in the movie for that long, but when they are, they usually create a lot of impact. You know, I thought even to make one of them grabbing into a trebuchet from Minas Tirith, and like they do when they attack the city, but I might do that with the other 6 because I want to get the 9 of them eventually. Here you have some close-up pictures so you can see more in detail how things are balanced and put in place. But overall, I'm extremely happy with this. The conversion process was fun. The painting process, besides what I discussed, it was very fun. It is a simple... It's quite easy to paint, but at the same time, you know, you just gotta trust the process. So I'm happy that I waited on it because I wasn't confident that I was gonna do it correctly the first time, and I wouldn't have forgiven myself to mess up such an iconic miniature. But now I have these 3 commanders for my Mordor armies that I'm gonna keep painting and developing. I still have to paint a lot of Mordor orcs. But if you guys have anything, please let me know. I'll try to bring something else to you shortly. But yeah, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Cheers.